St. Mary's class of 2016, it is my job to formally welcome you into the stupendous sisterhood of St. Mary's alumni. The stupendous sisterhood of educated women is a force for global good. It is on your shoulders to dream better dreams for the women of the world. It is on your shoulders to dream better worlds for all of humanity. It is on your shoulders to protect other species and the planet itself. St. Mary's College has prepared you to expand the reach of women in the world. The potential of women on this planet is not written for the graduates of St. Mary's. The potential of women on this planet is written by the graduates of St. Mary's. Class of 2016, please give yourselves a big whoop whoop and yahoo. Now, there are many lies traditionally told on Commencement Day. One such lie is, "This is your day." This is not your day. The evening might belong to you, but the day belongs to those who raised you, those who have supported you. It marks an end not to your suffering, it marks an end to their suffering. It is a day that some thought they might never see. Shortly, there is an error in my speech. Shortly, you will move your tassels from right to left, and you will leave this beautiful place. Now, the astute folks will notice their tassels are already on the left. As a graduate of another women's college, I understand the meaning of this. St. Mary's women are always a step ahead. Those who helped to raise you and those who helped you through the corridors of St. Mary's will cheer as you leave. It is not that they do not love you, they do. But they need no longer worry about whether you will pass your last exam. No more listening to you whine about the heftiness of your many assignments. No more pretending to be interested in your esoteric wanderings along the existential planes of the academic syllabi. This day belongs not just to you, but all of those who helped you to reach this goal. Their gentle smiles hide deeper emotions. For some, the sense of relief may border on hysteria. This hysteria may exhibit itself in the flash of cameras and in bragging about your accomplishments in unnaturally loud voices. My advice, take notes. And if their bragging is truly over the top, press record. There are many who prepared you for the journey, some who have coached you along the way, and any number of people who are out there praying for you. Share the joy of this day with them. It is their day as much as it is yours. And as you depart, I hope you will carry with you the lessons of the faculty of St. Mary's College and the Sisters of the Holy Cross. If you follow their examples, you will not take jobs you do not enjoy, to purchase things that you do not need, to impress people you do not like. This is a form of insanity. I admit it is very common in our world, but it is a form of insanity. Your faculty and the Sisters of the Holy Cross measure success not by what they can take from life, but rather by what they can give to life. In the end, you must make a living. Your parents and guardians are counting on it. But be sure to make a life as well. It is more important to be a person with meaning than it is to be a person of means. What you have in life is not nearly as important as who you have in your life. There is a saying that your friends are the family that you get to choose. When choosing friends, avoid individuals who are know-it-alls. I am here to tell you that such people are tedious. Do not marry or become entangled with such people. Do not even bother to have lunch with such people. Instead, spend your time with learn-it-alls. People who are always learning are ever-changing, often refreshing, and sometimes surprising. I cannot abide people who say the same things over and over and over. We all know at least one of these people. They care about one thing and one thing only, and they tell you about that thing over and over and over and over. I am here to tell you that such people are tedious. Do not marry or become entangled with such people. Do not even bother to have lunch with such people. Now, while it is surely surely acceptable to have one overarching philosophy of life. As educated women seeking to make your mark in the world, you should care about and be willing to discuss at least a minimum of 3 things. The three things about which you care tomorrow may not match the 3 things about which you care today. Fear not. Heed the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson. I quote, "Speak what you think today in hard words, and tomorrow speak what tomorrow thinks in hard words again, though they contradict everything you said today." He also wrote, "A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds, adored by little statesmen, philosophers, and divines." The 3 things about which I care today are compassion, justice, and fun. Fun is highly underrated. Today I will end my remarks with fun. Do not underestimate the force of fun. Researchers who study those situations that have been labeled deep survival, or the ability to live through some epic trial, they often cite the importance of a sense of humor. So if you find yourself in a life or death situation, laugh and live. Seriously, people who have no sense of humor, they are tedious. Do not marry or become entangled with such people. Do not even bother to have lunch with such people. Hilaire Belloc once wrote, "Nothing is worth the wear of winning but laughter and the love of friends." I agree. Now, just a few words about the first topic about which I care, compassion. I am a great sinner. It should come as no surprise, I like to win, and I usually do. However, many years of experience have taught me that I am not at my best when I act in a spirit of competition. I am at my best when I operate in a spirit of compassion. The word passion comes to us from the Latin pati, which means suffering. What you are passionate about, you are willing to suffer for. The prefix com means with. Compassion is the willingness to suffer with another. If I'm in a competitive relationship with someone, it doesn't help me to figure out how we're the same. It only helps me to figure out how we are different, so that I may exploit those differences and grind you into dust. If I'm in a compassionate relationship with someone, it doesn't help me to figure out how we are different. It only helps me to figure out how we are the same, so I can reach across that sameness and find our common ground to support you. Only on this common ground can we reconcile our diversity and move forward toward the hallowed ground of peace and justice. As you march boldly through life, on occasion you will stumble and you will fall. Don't worry about it. There is no failure in falling. There is only failure in not getting up. I don't know any perfect people, and there are few people more annoying than those who think they are perfect. I am here to tell you that such people are tedious. Do not marry or become entangled with such people. Do not even bother to have lunch with such people. Perfection is overrated. I have often bragged that the best thing about my faults is the joy that my faults bring to other people. Which brings me to a story. When I was skiing to the South Pole, we traveled 7 different days in whiteout conditions. Now, whiteouts happen when the clouds come down onto the surface of the snow. Up is white, down is white, left is white, right is white, and you literally cannot see the ground in front of you. Now, you don't go anywhere in Antarctica without your glacier glasses on. And it was my job that day, how you navigate in a whiteout, is you send the youngest member of the expedition team out off into the mist. I was young then. If you're that person out off in the mist, you're using a mountaineering compass. It has a sighting mirror. It's also known as an idiot's compass because the mirror shows you who is lost. And how you navigate is you find any landmark, a speck of snow, a piece of sastrugi off in the mist, and you ski to that landmark, and then you find another, and you ski to that one, and from mark to mark, you make some progress. And I was really excited because this one day, there was this perfect landmark, 180 degrees due south. I skied right for it, skied right for it, skied right for it. Colonel Ron Milnarek was my second that day. It was his job to correct any deviations in my course. He said, "Tori, you're veering left." No, I'm not. I was young and perfect. I checked my compass. My landmark was due south. Skied right for it, skied right for it, skied right for it. "Tori, you're veering left." No, I'm not. I was a graduate of the National Outdoor Leadership School. I knew how to use a compass by Harry God. I checked again. My landmark was due south. Skied right for it, skied right for it, skied right for it. Colonel Monarch says, "Tori, you're veering right." That's it. He's a dead man. I'm going to have to kill him. I turned to give Colonel Ron Milnarek of the United States Air Force my very best Murden death stare. And when I did that, I realized my landmark off in the mist was a spot of frost on my glasses. Václav Havel once said, "Keep the company and seek the company of those who are searching after truth and run away from people who think they have found it." One of the greatest tests in life is to make the most of our gifts. For those of us who believed that the source of those gifts is some higher power, how I use our gifts is an act of faith. None of us is perfect. Each person is a blend of dust and divinity. Each is mortal and each heroic. It is up to us, it is up to you, to close the gap between the promise of humanity and the performance of human beings. I firmly believe that human beings, if they act with compassion, are capable of traversing the distance between possibility and fact, but we must keep our glasses clean. Step after step, we traverse the distance between possibility and fact. As Goethe said, "Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it." Now, at this point in my remarks, I was going to talk about justice, but 3 seniors named Maddie, Angela, and Allie asked me to talk about rowboats. So I'm going to talk about rowboats. It took me 2 tries to row a boat alone across the Atlantic Ocean. My first try, I left from North Carolina, bound for France. About 7 days after I left, my boat capsized for the first time. Salt water got into my communications gear, so I went for 78 days with no contact with anyone on land. There were no chase vessels, no film crews, nobody dropped food or equipment to me along the way. And I was out about 3,000 miles when I noticed something coming, a big, ugly set of clouds. And because I didn't have communications, no one could say, "Look out, there's a hurricane on the way." The morning the storm arrived, my boat capsized 5 or 6 times. Now you're thinking she's an educated woman, and our accountant is going, "Was it 5 or 6? If you're inside this cabin bouncing around like a ping pong ball, you just see the ceiling going by. You don't really get to count how many times it went by. So after the 5th or 6th episode that day, I climbed out of the cabin, climbed across the deck to get the emergency position indicated radio beacon, better known as an EPIRB. You turn it on, it says, "Help!" You don't turn it on, it doesn't say anything. In the time it took me to get out there, waves were washing over the boat. It was doing this really annoying submarine thing. When your ears pop because the boat has gone so far under the surface of the water, it is a bad sign. And I realized I could not ask another human being to come out into that storm to get me. So I tied the distress beacon to my life vest, crawled back across the deck, went back into the cabin, and I went through 5 or 6 more capsizes that day. 2 of my capsizes were end-over-end pitch poles. It really hurts when the boat flips over that way. One capsize dislocated my shoulder, the next capsize put it back into place. This is my definition of a bad day. If you combine this with the fact that I skied 750 miles across the highest, driest, coldest continent on the face of the planet, you will understand why, as the president of Spalding University, I do not decide whether our students get a snow day. I make our provost decide whether the students get a snow day. All things are better left to provosts. So, 2 days after that storm, another storm, a hurricane named Lenny, passed well north of my position, triggered a number of rogue waves. The boat capsized 4 more times. I looked out, I thought the waves aren't nearly as big, the winds aren't nearly as strong. It's safe enough to ask for help. I set off my EPIRB. I was picked up that afternoon by a container ship named the Independent Spirit. You can't make that stuff up. They took me to Philadelphia, and I returned home to Louisville, Kentucky, the home of all great ocean rowers. There are no oceans near Louisville. And I took a job working for the boxer Muhammad Ali. And it was Muhammad Ali who said, "Tori, you don't want to go through life as the woman who almost rode across the ocean." So I went back, but the second time I went the easy way. The second time I left the coast of Africa and I went to the Caribbean. You can leave the coast of Africa in a barrel, you will get to the Caribbean. And if you use oars, you'll get there ever so much more quickly. And so I did successfully make the journey across the Atlantic Ocean. And when I stepped out of the boat, actually, there was another hurricane. I am Princess Dark Cloud. That is why we are inside today. There was a hurricane named Lenny that arrived, and I had 4 redundant communication systems on that second trip. And they said, "Tori, there's a hurricane coming, and it's coming from the west." And I said, "No, not possible. I only have one virtue. I actually do my homework. Hurricanes always go east to west at that latitude because the trade winds blow from east to west. That is why you can leave the coast of Africa in a barrel and reach the Caribbean." Hurricane Lenny was the first hurricane in recorded history to travel 1,000 miles west to east. It came directly over my boat. I am Princess Dark Cloud. The next day after the storm passed was Thanksgiving. And I called up this man from my rowboat, his name is Mac McClure, and I asked him to marry me. Now my husband is here. He will tell the story differently. He will say that I called before the hurricane, and the only reason he said yes is he was afraid to mess with my psyche. But I rowed the boat into the island of Guadeloupe, stepped out of the boat, literally into Mac's arms, and we were married about 3 weeks later. Mac is never tedious. I married him. My life is entangled with his, and I relish having lunch with him. May you be as lucky as I in love. All the best for that. Hilaire Belloc was right when he said, "Nothing is worth the wear of winning but laughter and the love of friends." I firmly believe it does not take an education to see pain on our streets, but it takes an education to do something about it. I commend you for reaching this milestone in your life. I commend you for your achievements and for the achievements you are yet to make. St. Mary's College has prepared you well. As scholars, you are creative individuals. You possess a clarity of mind and an energy of will. I have no doubt you shall meet the challenge of the coming years. You have warmed yourselves by the fires of those who raised you. Here at St. Mary's, you have gathered the tinder of knowledge. The time has come for you to go out and light your own fires. I mean this metaphorically, of course. The world cries out for educated voices. As I wind this up, it is my job to fill your head with platitudes, 1 or 2 of which you might actually remember. Socrates said, "All I know is that I know nothing." I will freely admit I don't know anything for sure, but I will end with the 10 things I think I know. Number 1, if the carrot is big enough, you can use it as a stick. Number two, roadblocks only block the road. They don't block the grass, the path, the water, or the way less traveled. Roadblocks just block the road. Number 3, silence is golden. And if silence should fail you, duct tape is silver. Number 4, it is never too late to have a happy childhood. I've had several, and I have many more planned. Or the corollary, I may grow old, but I will never be old enough to know better. Number 5, do not treat others in a way that makes them feel small. If making others feel small becomes a habit, it will make you smaller. Number 6, learn from the mistakes of others. You cannot live long enough to make them all yourselves. Or the corollary, it is difficult to become old and wise if you are not first young and stupid. There are many gradations of stupid. Stupid level 1 gets you hurt. Stupid level 2 gets others hurt. Stupid level 3 involves police and lawyers, and you might never own your own home. Avoid all levels of stupid that begin with the phrase, "Hey, hold my beer, watch this." Number 7, a ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. That is not original to me. It was William Shedd who said that. Number 8 is one of my personal favorites. If you have to keep something that you are doing a secret, then perhaps you should not be doing it. Number 9 is important for college and university presidents. Don't take yourself too seriously. No one else does. Number 10, do not believe everything you think. Or as Socrates said, all I know is that I know nothing. I have every confidence that when you leave St. Mary's College, you will go out, you will teach, heal, feed, and build. You will inform, advocate, comfort, guide. You will criticize, organize, contribute, and in 100 other ways serve people and causes. When this commencement service ends, let your service to the world begin anew. Go out and make St. Mary's College proud. Make your friends and families proud. For this, I thank you.